Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryu Goes Rar. Finally doing the build guides, the monthly ones. I haven't done them in a while, so I figured, I didn't really do any for January since I released mostly the Bronze to Masters videos. I figured I'd get back into doing them for February, especially since we've now had quite a big patch and it seems like a couple of people are confused on the meta. So for this video, we're going to be doing TvT. The build I'm going to be doing here is going to be a double gas mech build. So I apologize if you're a bio player, but it's been a while since I've done a mech build. And currently, what I'm choosing my builds to do, or what I think the standard is, this not only goes for my like videos, but also for when I play the game. I always like to copy Innovation, and lately Innovation's been doing mech, so if you're also wondering what I'd recommend you play right now as a learning player, I would say going mech is the way. Because if Innovation is consistently doing one style, and in this case it's mech and TvT, I would say it's always worth doing. So let's get into the finer points of the build. This is double gas, so in case you're wondering, that's 14 depot, that's 15 gas, 16 gas, 17 gas, otherwise known as double gas. The idea of this is you get both your gases at pretty optimal times, and you get a fast factory, and by the time the factory is done, you're able to throw down a CC. This is a safer way of playing TvT, and it's a more tech-heavy way, but it's a little bit less economical than other ways, such as just, throwing down the expo. So you're going to go Reaper, then Factory. After that, you're going to pull 2 workers off. 2 workers off one gas, 1 worker off the other. In total, you should have only 3 workers mining gas. Make sure you pull 1 off of one and 2 off of the other, and not just 3 off of one. This is more optimal when it comes to mining. So now we're just going to rally our Reaper over here. If you want, you can rally it across the map to be aggressive, but honestly it's typically better to just have your units set up here. When this SCV is done, it can then go back to the 1 out of 3. And we're just going to chill for a bit here. When this factory is done, we'll make a Hellion. And you'll notice by the time this SCV gets done, it'll be able to throw down a CC at 225. Perfect. Right on the dot. Back to making workers. Let's show with our units here. Reapers in the front, Hellions in the back. You're going to make up to 3 Reapers and 2 Hellions. You're going to throw down a depot right here. And this next rallied SCV is going to go right here to build the Starport. Awesome. Actually, no, sorry, you build a Starport right here. Right as you have the money. That's my bad, actually. It should come down at 30, though. Wasn't paying too much attention there. So now you're going to go a Tech Lab here. And another Tech Lab right here. When you're at 16 out of 16 here, you're going to start rallying down to the natural. And yeah, you just keep your units here. If you want, now that you have all of them, you can go across the map. You can inflict some pressure on your opponent. Notice here, by the way, it's a small little micro trick. Cyclone. When your Reapers are close together, like this, and the Hellion tries to get between them, right? The Hellions will stay behind the Reapers. So, small little thing like that. Now, when these 2 are done, you're going to swap them off. You're immediately going to make this refinery. We're going to keep our units right here. And you're going to go for a Raven. And a Cyclone. And you're going to make up to 2 Cyclones for now. Sorry, 3 Cyclones. Now, there's 2 ways of playing this build that I'm noticing. If you want to play really aggressive as mech, you can go for a total of 3 Ravens and 3 Cyclones with Magfield and try to go for a push move. Or if you just want to play standard-ish, what you do is you go 2 Ravens, 3 Cyclones. I think 3 Cyclones ultimately is a pretty safe number, though. You can do 2, though. Now, you're going to start throwing down depots here at 46 to 47, or just after the 4-minute mark. And we're going to get a Raven, and then this next SCV here is going to throw down our 3rd CC. On a map like Nightshade, also populate your gases. On a map like Nightshade, you really want to expand in this kind of linear path like this to here, and then later on taking this base here. Now when this depot's done, you're going to make another one at the edge here. And you're going to start Magfield with your next gas available. Keep your units together because these are going to be your safety units in case anything early comes by. We're just going to be doing the 2 Raven, 3 Cyclone version here, because we're not doing anything aggressive against the AI. So, when this Raven's done, you're going to lift up. You're going to make a tank, and a reactor for that Starport. We'll put the Starport reactor over here, actually, just so we can maneuver through here. And now, we're going to take 2 workers, right here and here. We're going to drop factory number 1, and factory number 2. This depot's done, so we can bring our SCV over to here and just drop an eBay. You know, better late than never. And you're just gonna keep making tanks and shit. When this third's done, you can make it an orbital. This barracks can be lifted up, you can send it over here. Unless you want to keep it for more add-ons. Honestly, I just lift it up. The vision's nice. And this army can kind of stay mobile. You don't need to have your tanks sieged unless you know there's an attack coming. So, now I'm going to start rallying over here. These 2 workers, when they're done, will also go to the third here. And just stay on your Viking production, your tank production, etc. So we're going to make another tank here. Throw your scan down when your third orbital finishes. Take your 2 gases immediately. Drop your Hellions. When Magfield's done, you can start your blue flame. Keep making Vikings. With Magfield, you can go with your Hellions when you have enough Hellions. I'd say about 4 or 6. And you can just start poking at stuff. Now our depot production is a little bit slow here, so we're going to drop a supply real quick. We're going to start dropping some mules too when we can. But we're going to populate these gases first. Now try to have your tanks sieged up defensively. Keep your Vikings and Ravens together. I like to keep my Vikings and Ravens just ahead of my my tanks. Just in case, like, say a push comes in here, you can disable, or, you know, pick off a quick medevac or 2. So let's grab these units here. With these next 2 workers, we're going to throw down 2 more factories. Keep dropping your mules, keep making SCVs. More depots. Remember to take these extra gases. Then we're going to go ahead and drop down 2 more factories. We're going to remake some Vikings, or rather add on extra Vikings. Keep making your siege tanks and Hellions. Another thing is, if you're against a very aggressive drop-heavy bio player or somebody who does a lot of tank pushes, and they're including Marauders, specifically I say Marauders by the way. Also check this out, you can put your depots right here, raise these depots here, and put a tank over there. And it's kind of like a little defensive fortification. Drop your fort CC at 8 minutes. And sorry, let me get back to my rant here. What you can do against those players, if they're going Marauders, is you can send a bunch of Hellion run-bys constantly, because Marauders are quite expensive to make, and if you deny their economy, then they're going to have a really tough time keeping up the production for both tanks and Marauders. So, against that type of style, you want to spam those out. Now, after you have about 6 or so Vikings, you can start making medevacs. And more tanks. Remember to get your 1-1. And we're going to go up to about 70 workers. Now, the reason I put my depots like this is because, like, let's say a stimmed bio player is coming in here. You want to be able to, you know, quickly just be able to have a wall going here. Now, I can even back this tank up if I don't want them to shoot here. But if they come through here, I can even put another thing like here, like a turret. By the way, if you have a bunch of money you're floating, you can go up to 74. You can grab some workers off like this, and you can just build missile turret, missile turret, missile turret. You can also do, you know, missile turret and missile turret if you're just floating money. Now, sorry, what I was getting at was, let's say a simmed bioforce comes in here. To hit these tanks, they need to go through this choke. Now, granted, that also means they're able to, like, just poke at the depots for free. But in lower leagues, you'll notice a lot of people will try to dive the tanks, and that kind of just creates a safety net. And it's a very cheap investment, too. And you're going to make up to 4 medevacs here. And the reason for these medevacs is that you want to make Hellbats and put them in there. Make sure you get the upgrade as well for smart servos. Keep making those tanks. After about 4 medevacs, you can go into more kind of Vikings. That's the word. Oh my gosh. Right here, we can go ahead and build 2 starports. Over here, we can make 2 CCs with our extra money or more missile turrets. I should have said this earlier, but by the time both of your gases at the third are complete, you should focus on making your sensor towers. Make sure to grab 2 as well, by the way. So we can throw down a sensor tower like right here, a sensor tower over here, and because we have this base here, we want to throw down one more sensor tower a little bit forward. And in this map specifically, you want to have your like kind of army situated and focused to protecting this general middle area. So that would entail kind of having like a siege up line like this, just protecting your entrances. So we have an entrance here, an entrance here, an entrance here, and an entrance here. You can also throw down 2 more CCs. We can go ahead and grab 2 more reactors, a fusion core. We can get high sec auto tracking. And we can just keep making Vikings. And see here, they try to go through the entrance. We have it already protected. With your medevacs, by the way, you want to have your Hellions in there. Now, you only want your Hellions as Hellbats when you're in a fight. Otherwise, you want them as Hellions. But typically, the way a fight should look is, let's say a stimmed bio player, right? Comes in right through here. You boost on top of them while your tanks are sieging, and you just drop the Hellbats on. This is really great against people who do the tank style. However, if you think your opponent's just going to go straight to Vikings, then don't even worry about doing this. Just like actually go straight into more Vikings. You can skip the medevacs in that case. Okay, so grab your lib range. After +2/+2, you can stop getting armor and you can focus on ship weapons. So ship weapons here, and then +3 vehicle attack. Or sorry, no, that's TVZ, my bad. You want to stop getting attack upgrades on your mech after +2 in TvT. The reason for this is just because it's more important to have ship upgrades there. Sorry, that's counterintuitive information. Now, actually, this base right here, you want to have it sent to the corner. The reason you want it like this is because a linear base makes it so they can only attack from one direction, and getting into the corner like here and flying through here is a little bit harder if you have defenses right here. You'll see it in theory. So now, this is the next base you would want to logically take. So we would take the rest of our units here. You can stack these Hellions, Reapers, and Cyclones if you want. You can make more Cyclones if you want to be more aggressive, and you can make more tanks if you want to be more defensive. But grab your gases right away. We can do shit like here, missile turrets, missile turrets. If you really want to be fancy as well, you know, you can go ahead and do stuff like this. CC right here, CC right here, and this is for like the extreme turtle players. You can make these, you can make them PFs later. So we're gonna go ahead and lift this up. Orbital, orbital. And we're gonna go ahead and throw down 2 more starports. So that's a starport here, starport there, and starports there. And we'll send them over here. And also throw down some missile turrets here just so your opponent doesn't like send some libs over. Try to get a sensor tower here, and because we have this new base here, with mech you're always trying to like just prevent openings, so you can put another sensor tower right here. And with these new orbitals, you can mule and replace your SCVs slowly mining minerals, just because it's kind of better. Oh, I forgot to start my +3 attack there. Whoops. Get your motto as well. Now these next 4 starports are going to be only tech labs, and from here you would actually go into a BC transition. Because making 6 Vikings, Liberators, or Medevacs is pretty useful, so you don't need any more reactors than that. And plus, it's still worth 2 reactors in theory, because you could make units from the 4 tech labs. But you can make Ravens, or you can make battle cruisers. I would recommend going battle cruisers, personally. Oh shit, I got the wrong upgrade anyways. Well, so much for my explanation. Get Corvid Reactor anyways, by the way, because in the late game, having Ravens is really nice. And your plan as mech in this point is just to control the map and slowly siege your bio opponent out. If it is, let's say, a mech versus mech, you want to actually go way heavy on the Cyclones and just take over for map control. The reason you want map control, by the way, in mech versus mech with Cyclones is because in this matchup, you're just trying to spam out as many bases as you can, so you can quickly make the perfect army. So you can open aggressively early on with Cyclones, and then later on go into something like heavy tank or battle cruisers when your opponent makes them back as a defense, but they overcommit, let's say. that's the mindset there. So we see we have a Vespene Geyser exhaust here. We can go ahead and just kind of prepare. We can build a sensor tower right here because this would be our next base. I would build it, say, right here, so it still covers the middle, kind of. You can see it's going to cover this ramp here, which is far more valuable. And these, like, back tanks here, you know, you could start moving them. Maybe you can keep, like, one right here, but the general idea is still the same. So then we would bring the space over here. And now we're just defending to make sure that our opponent doesn't kill us. So stuff like this, let me show you guys like a typical engagement with your Hellions. They walk up, you transform them just before the fight, and yeah. Pretty basic shit, really. I don't know why I had to... I don't know why I even bothered doing that explanation. So you would take the space here next. And then yeah, we have the PF here for defense. Anyways, that's that. Let's go kill the AI.
Upgrade complete.
So like I said, behind this you'd want to make battle cruisers. It's okay to lose the Reapers, honestly, we should have lost them earlier. Another thing you can do if you want is you can add on more factories, so you can go up to 8 factories if you want, so maybe here, here, and here. The CC can be lifted to over here.
Command center has been upgraded.
And yeah, that's kind of the mech build in TvZ. Innovation's been doing mech a lot, which is why I'm showing a mech build here. And I haven't ever actually gone over a mech explanation in TvT, so I figured I'd finally do one. Also, another thing to know is you'll go against players who have the tank bio style, and you may not know what to do against that. Typically, the rule of thumb that I would recommend players doing is you can go medevacs, generally, just to keep yourself safe. They're a really good engagement tool, but the actual pushback tool against like heavy tanks is Liberators. So the rule of thumb is if you have 6 or more Vikings than your opponent, just add Liberators. And I would say start with 2, and then when you like, you know, start to reach a critical amount of like Vikings, like you start to have way more than them just because you've been trading out really well, then you can start to go for something like 4 Liberators. But you don't really need more than 6, you know? So 2 or 4 will do. Anyways, we go 1 more Reactor and then 2 more Tech Labs. This is just because we'll want to make Thors in the late game. If they have Liberators and you have Vikings Thors, what you want to do is you want to just you want to focus down the Liberators with the Vikings and the Thor. That way, even if they do kill your air army, assuming you have less Vikings than them, you'll kill their Liberators, and then the Thors can just kill the Vikings. So, small focus fire stuff there. But anyways, that's the video. Thank you for watching. If you have any suggestions I can do, or any comments to make, please let me know. I'll happily answer them. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.